I'm Angelica Light, President and CEO of the Hampton Roads Community Foundation, and my guest this morning is Mike Feinberg, who is the Superintendent of KIPP Schools, Houston.
Dave Levin and I, who are the founders of KIPP, started this back in 1994 when we were two frustrated teachers. After doing our 2 years in Teach for America in inner city Houston, we realized that what we were able to accomplish in our classroom quickly could get unraveled when our kids left our elementary school and went to the middle schools and high schools. And after going through a few months of finger pointing and blaming other people for what was happening to our former students, we realized all that finger pointing should be directed at us. And we could have done more in that year. And when we had that realization, we started the Knowledge is Power program as a program and to do more in our 1 year as fifth grade teachers. And we realized we had to increase our sphere of influence to make a bigger impact and keep our sacred promises to our children to do whatever it would take to help them get to and through college. And that meant turning our program into a school, to take them all the way through the middle school years. And that began in 1995, and it's been growing ever since.
What are the special characteristics of a KIPP school?
I think the special characteristics are found in our school rules, which we've learned from some of our mentor teachers. To keep it simple, it's work hard and be nice. And those are not just words on the wall, but we've realized that there has to be a connection between the rules and the values and the operating norms, the actions you see, what the kids are doing throughout the school day, what the teachers are doing throughout the school day. So I think one thing that's special about KIPP is the fact that those nice, beautiful, pretty words and inspiring quotes on the wall, we try to live them. Beyond that, the makeup of our schools have these 5 pillars. All of our schools have more time on task every day, every week, and every year. No shortcuts. We believe in choice and commitment. All of our schools are public schools that are a choice within an underserved community for families and kids. We believe in the power to lead, so our principals are school leaders, emphasizing the word leaders, who the shackles are off and they can make staffing and budget decisions to best drive instruction and help the kids learn. We believe in high expectations, which for us is college prep at all levels. You know, college might not be for everyone, but the skills to go to college are for everyone. And then lastly, it's focusing on great results. While the ultimate goal is getting our kids to and through college, what are we doing daily, weekly, monthly, annually to measure the progress, make sure the kids are climbing the mountain at the right clip to get where we want them to be at the end of the day.
That's great. Tell me how the KIPP school is structured within the larger context of the public school system.
So just about every KIPP school is a charter school. And charter schools are part of the public education system. They're set up in a way where a nonprofit can apply to some authorizer in that state, be it the local school district or university or the state board, the state education agency, to create a new public school from scratch outside the traditional school districts. So it truly is providing a public choice in communities outside the current group that's delivering public education.
How do you see the role of public charter schools in influencing the way education is done in this country?
I think public charter schools as a whole, first off, let me say that the notion that charter schools by definition will be the panacea and fix this is completely wrong. Charter schools by definition aren't going to be great and aren't going to be horrible. Charter school by definition is an opportunity. Right? And that's the first thing I think to realize. And I think beyond the fact that for kids and parents who choose that public charter school, the fact that they can get a better education at that school than what they were leaving is terrific. Collectively, I think that what charter schools allow for our public education system is a choice. We are very proud of our KIPPers and what they've accomplished. 90% of our kids coming from households that qualify for the federal free and reduced lunch and breakfast programs. 90% of the kids qualify for those programs, and 90% of our kids are going to college.
How did you expand from your first school to the present 99 that you have in some 20 states and the District of Columbia?
So in 1999, when Dave moved back to New York to start a KIPP Academy in the South Bronx. So from 95 to 99, we had these 2 schools, just KIPP Houston, KIPP New York, and that was it. And after the 60 Minutes program aired their special on our kids in 99, the floodgates opened up, and we had opportunities to do schools all over the country. And we were hesitant, because again, we realized that promises to children are sacred, and we weren't just going to start schools irresponsibly without really making sure the fundamentals were in place. And so we partnered with Don Doris Fisher, the founders of the Gap Old Navy, who have just been tremendous friends and partners. And Don, beyond being a friend, Don Fisher was an incredible mentor to us, and he has focus on leadership as a critical path. So we created the Fisher Fellowship, a year-long training program to prepare great educators to become great school leaders, and then give them the power to lead to go off and do these schools around the country. And that's so today we've grown to 99 public schools in 20 states and DC.
Now, could these 5 pillars that you spoke of, could they be done in a regular public school?
Sure. There's nothing about our 5 pillars that inherently is tied to a charter school. To me, it is political will. It's easier to implement them in a charter school because by definition a charter school is a new school. So you're not trying to change anything. Mm-hmm. You can inject the 5 pillars from the beginning. Can you have a longer school day? Yeah. These schools are choice, commitment, options in the neighborhoods. Can you give the school leaders the power to lead? Yes. Can you have high expectations, not focusing on passing the state test at your bar, but on getting the kids to and through college at your bar? Yes. Can you put in place a way to measure the results and make sure things are happening? Yes. Is it easy to do that in a brand new school from scratch? Yes. But there's no reason why tomorrow any school and any school district here in Virginia or in the United States couldn't choose to do those things. Easier said than done, but the resources are there. It's just a matter of how we use our resources.
How do you think that what sort of scale would there need to be for the charter school movement to actually have a substantial impact on the existing public school monopoly?
Right. I think there's a certain scale. There's a tipping point we're all chasing in this, which is to use Malcolm Gladwell's tipping point analogy, and to look what we like to, as a real world example, we look at the impact that FedEx had on the U.S. Post Office. Because when FedEx got to 10% market share, the U.S. Post Office, which was a government monopoly at the time, started doing next day air as well. So FedEx didn't hurt the post office, made them better. That is, I think, one of the beyond the fact that on any given day a child and family can choose to go to a charter school and get a better education. That's great for that child and family. Collectively, the role charter schools can play from a public education system is they can be the R&D hub of public education. Because they're starting new schools from scratch, it's easier for them to try new innovative things, which then the rest of the public education system can learn from. And 2, by putting that choice in place, you've now changed the accountability structure within public education. Public education is feeling very accountable. However, feeling very accountable, our accountability is aimed at the state and federal government, which it should be because they're the largest funder. At the same time, I'd argue the most important accountability focus should be on the kids and parents as the customers who we serve every single day. And if we provide choices for families in low-income communities about what public school they can go to, then those schools have to compete for their business. Right? And I think that is beyond the R&D and beyond serving any individual child better than the education they were getting before. I think it's that tipping point, that FedEx effect, that is especially promising of what public charter schools can do for this country.
Have you begun to see any evidence of that?
Oh, I think in places where we're growing rapidly, we have. Where I am in Houston, I think the current school board and superintendent in Houston ISD have been making some courageous changes to compete with KIPP and Yes Prep, another great charter system, and Harmony, another great charter system, to stop having all the kids come to us, which is great. We have a 4,500 kid wait list in Houston just for KIPP alone. And the only way we'll ever catch up to that wait list if the other schools get better, so the kids and parents stop wanting to come to us and they're happy where they are. And we're trying to help make it possible for that to happen. And as we raise our own level of expectations and our own beliefs and mindsets, that means we are delivering on a better promise to the kids and parents.
Mike, that's a great philosophy, and we're delighted that you are sharing it with us here in Hampton Roads today.